Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from 2003. At first glance, it appears ordinary, just another bronze coin that passes unnoticed in the daily shuffle of transactions. But behind its modest gleam lies a story of heritage, precision, and royal legacy that stretches across centuries. The 2003 2 pence coin isn't just currency, it's a symbol of tradition and transformation, carrying with it echoes of Britain's rich minting history and the enduring reign of Queen Elizabeth I. To understand the true importance of the 2003 2 pence coin, one must travel back to 1971, a pivotal year known as Decimal Day, when the United Kingdom officially transitioned to the decimal currency system. It was a monumental change that replaced centuries of old coinage practices with a new, streamlined approach. The 2 pence coin, first minted that year, represented the dawn of a modern era in British currency. It was part of the decimal series that made calculations simpler, aligning British money more closely with international standards. But more than that, it represented a cultural shift, a balance between innovation and the deep respect for tradition. By the time the 2003 version of the 2 pence coin was minted, Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for more than half a century. Her portrait had changed several times on the nation's coins, each new effigy capturing her evolution as both monarch and symbol of continuity. The 2003 coin bears the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait was strikingly realistic, a powerful representation of maturity and grace. Rank Broadley's design emphasized the Queen's humanity, showing her with a sense of warmth and dignity rather than the idealized style used in earlier portraits. On the obverse, or front side, the Queen faces right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most recognizable pieces of jewelry. Surrounding her portrait is the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2003, which translates to, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription, rooted in centuries-old tradition, connects the coin to a long line of British monarchs, each bearing similar titles on their coinage, a link between the past and the present. Turning to the reverse side, we see the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, accompanied by the motto, Ich dien, meaning, I serve. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, is more than decorative. It symbolizes service, loyalty, and the deep connection between the crown and the people. Ironside's artistry captured both heritage and national pride, creating an emblem that has become synonymous with the 2 pence coin itself. Beneath the badge sits the denomination inscription, 2 pence, displayed in clear, elegant lettering. The 2003 issue was struck at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, a facility known for its precision and state-of-the-art minting technology. Each coin was carefully crafted using a bronze alloy consisting of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, a composition that gave the coin its warm, reddish tone. However, beginning in 1992, the Royal Mint transitioned to a copper-plated steel composition for circulating 2 pence coins to reduce production costs. The 2003 2 pence followed this updated composition, meaning most of these coins were made from steel with a thin copper coating, giving them a slightly magnetic property. The coin weighs 7.12 grams and has a diameter of 25.9 millimeters, dimensions that have remained consistent since the coin's introduction. Its smooth edge adds to its clean, minimalist design. Though millions were minted for general circulation, a limited number of proof and uncirculated versions were struck for collectors, offering a mirror-like finish and sharper details. These special issues were often sold in sets, making them prized possessions for numismatists and enthusiasts alike. To the average person in 2003, a 2 pence coin was just small change, something that jingled in pockets or was tossed into charity boxes. Yet for collectors today, it tells a story far greater than its face value suggests. Each coin carries with it the signature of its time, the craftsmanship of the Royal Mint, the artistic vision of Rank Broadley and Ironside, and the enduring presence of a monarch whose reign defined an era. What makes the 2003 2p coin especially fascinating is not just its design but the subtle variations that have emerged over the years. Some coins show minor minting differences, such as slight misalignments or variations in strike quality. Others were produced in limited numbers for special coin sets, increasing their desirability. Even the smallest deviation from the standard design can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible, and in the world of rare coins, such differences can be worth fortunes. Collectors are drawn to the 2003 2p for its balance of modernity and heritage. It's a coin that embodies the essence of Elizabeth II's reign, stability amid change. The early 2000s were a period of transition for Britain, technologically and culturally, and the coinage reflected this blend of old and new. While the design remained consistent with earlier decades, the methods of production had advanced significantly, incorporating the Royal Mint's most precise techniques to ensure consistency and quality. The coin also serves as a quiet reflection of the British economy and everyday life. In 2003, the 2p coin still played a vital role in daily transactions, from vending machines to parking meters, yet even then, digital payments were beginning to rise. As time passed, these small denominations started disappearing from regular use, becoming nostalgic reminders of a pre-digital age. But perhaps what makes this particular year's issue so appealing to collectors is its rarity in pristine condition. Circulation coins naturally experience wear, losing their original sheen and detail. However, a 2003 2p in mint-state condition, especially one with flawless luster and no scratches, can command significant value in the collector market. Proof versions from that year, preserved in official Royal Mint sets, have become increasingly sought after. Imagine holding such a coin in your hand, the faint scent of copper, the cool weight against your fingers, the glimmering portrait of the Queen under the light. It's more than metal. It's a time capsule, a tangible link to the United Kingdom's history, its artistry, and its unbroken royal lineage. For numismatists, each of these coins tells a chapter of a larger story, the evolution of a nation through its coinage. Collectors also know that the value of a coin isn't determined solely by its metal content, or even its rarity. It's about significance, condition, and desirability. The 2003 2p coin represents an important bridge between the late 20th century and the early 21st century, between the traditional imagery of Elizabethan Britain and the modern minting era. It captures a moment when the Royal Mint was transitioning to more efficient production techniques while still preserving artistic integrity. As collectors around the world continue to search for key dates in the 2p series, the 2003 edition holds a special charm. It's not the oldest, nor the rarest, but its condition, combined with the historical and emotional weight of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, makes it a centerpiece in many collections. Some versions, especially proof coins still sealed in their original presentation packs, have fetched remarkable prices in private auctions and numismatic markets. What truly sets this coin apart, however, is its connection to an era that will never return. Queen Elizabeth II's reign, which began in 1952, came to symbolize not only monarchy but also stability in a rapidly changing world. Coins like the 2003 2p remind us of that enduring legacy, of a monarch whose image graced coins longer than any other in British history, and of a nation whose identity was minted into metal. Over the years, stories have circulated among collectors about rare variants and misprints of the 2003 2p coin, coins with doubled edges, rotated dies, or unique tone variations. While these errors are rare, they hold extraordinary value. Some error coins have been sold for thousands of dollars, and their mystique adds to the coin's legend. Even small anomalies can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a prized treasure. For the team at HD Ultra Rare Coins, this story goes beyond collecting. It's about uncovering the artistry and hidden worth behind every coin. Each 2p coin carries not just monetary value but emotional weight, connecting generations of collectors, historians, and royal admirers. When a coin like the 2003 2p surfaces in immaculate condition, it captures the attention of enthusiasts worldwide. Top 2. This is the incredible story of the 2002 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin, a tiny piece of metal that tells a tale of royal history, minting mastery, and an astonishing rise in value that no one could have predicted. The year 2002 was a memorable one for Britain. It marked the golden jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, celebrating 50 years on the throne. The nation was alive with pride and nostalgia, honoring a monarch whose image had appeared on every British coin since 1953. Streets were decorated with Union Jacks, commemorative stamps were issued, and mints across the country were preparing special editions of coins to mark the occasion. In the midst of all this celebration, the Royal Mint continued its annual production of the 2 pence coin, following the design that had become iconic. But something unusual happened that year. The 2 pence coin, first introduced in 1971 during Britain's decimalization, had always carried the words, New Pence, until 1982, when the inscription was changed to 2 pence. Over the decades, it became a quiet staple of British currency, unremarkable, but essential. The obverse bore the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse displayed the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above a ribbon inscribed with the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. But in 2002, during the busy minting of both circulation and commemorative coins, a small number of errors and unique variations began to emerge, sparking what collectors now call the Jubilee 2 pence phenomenon. Imagine finding one of these coins in your change, shiny, reddish in color, but with subtle differences only a trained eye could detect. Perhaps the alignment was slightly off, or the lettering carried a faint double strike. In some rare instances, the metal composition differed ever so slightly due to transitional planchets, blanks left over from earlier years or foreign batches that found their way into the presses. These rare misstrikes and limited mint runs are what transformed the ordinary 2002 2 pence into a legendary collectible. The story of the Elizabeth II 2 pence 2002 goes deeper than design or metal, however. It embodies the era of the Queen's Golden Jubilee, a celebration of longevity, stability, and tradition. The Royal Mint took pride in its craftsmanship that year, ensuring that every coin bore a flawless rendition of the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1998, depicted a more mature and realistic queen, with fine detail in her crown and facial features. Unlike earlier portraits that idealized her youth, this design showed her dignity and strength as a monarch who had ruled through half a century of change. The reverse, as always, featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, designed by Christopher Ironside, one of Britain's most respected coin artists. Its balanced elegance, the feathers, the coronet, and the graceful ribbon, symbolized heritage and duty. And yet, when you hold the 2002 2 pence, you're not just holding a piece of metal. You're holding a piece of history, minted in a year that celebrated 50 years of Elizabethan legacy. The coin became a quiet witness to the jubilation that swept through Britain, fireworks over Buckingham Palace, parades in London, and millions of loyal citizens honoring their queen. Collectors often speak of how rarity is born not from intention, but from circumstance. In 2002, the Royal Mint's primary focus was on producing commemorative Golden Jubilee coins, special editions in gold and silver, featuring the Queen's portrait surrounded by celebratory designs. As a result, the regular circulation coins, including the humble 2 pence, were minted in smaller numbers than usual. A reduced mintage combined with a few remarkable minting anomalies set the stage for the 2002 2 pence to become one of the most sought-after coins of the modern Elizabethan era. But what truly made this coin legendary among collectors was the discovery of an ultra-rare batch, a group of 2 pence coins struck with minor alignment errors and distinctive coloring. These coins, unlike the usual copper-plated steel versions, displayed unique tones under light, hinting at differences in metal composition. A few were found with a slightly thicker rim, while others showed faint doubling on the Queen's portrait. To the average person, such details meant nothing. To numismatists, however, they were treasures, tiny, accidental signatures that transformed a coin into an artifact of minting history. Imagine the thrill of finding one of these coins in your old change jar. Perhaps it was passed down from a grandparent who lived through the Golden Jubilee, or maybe it's been sitting unnoticed in your drawer for years. As collectors began identifying these rare specimens, auctions started seeing record-breaking bids. Coin enthusiasts from across the UK, the United States, and even Australia began hunting for the elusive 2002 Two Pence variations. What was once worth just 2 pennies suddenly climbed to hundreds, then thousands, and soon, tens of thousands of dollars in collector circles. The coin's appeal also lies in its symbolism. The 2002 Two Pence stands as a bridge between the old and the new, a representation of Britain's enduring monarchy entering the 21st century. By 2002, technology was reshaping every aspect of life, yet the image of the Queen on coins remained a constant. The 2 pence coin was both modern and traditional, tangible and timeless. Its copper sheen reflected not only the glow of craftsmanship but also the enduring spirit of a nation proud of its history. As the years went by, the legend of the 2002 Two Pence grew. Collectors on online forums began sharing stories of chance discoveries, posting images of their finds under magnification, and debating subtle variations that distinguished rare pieces from regular circulation coins. Some believed that only a few hundred of the rare versions existed, while others speculated that even fewer survived in mint condition. Professional grading companies began certifying these coins, and the top-quality examples, those with pristine surfaces, strong strikes, and flawless luster, commanded incredible prices. The beauty of the 2002 Two Pence lies not just in its rarity, but in its story. It's a story of craftsmanship, history, and the quiet power of something small to hold immense value. Every scratch, every gleam, every detail on the coin tells a part of Britain's narrative, a tale of a monarch whose reign witnessed wars, peace, innovation, and transformation. The coin may weigh only a few grams, but it carries the weight of 50 years of royal legacy. For collectors, coins like this are more than investments. They're connections to the past, tokens of moments that shaped the world. The 2002 Two Pence speaks to those who value the artistry of minting, the delicate balance of design, metallurgy, and precision. And because of its association with the Queen's Golden Jubilee, it holds sentimental value beyond its metal worth. It's a piece of celebration, preserved forever in copper and steel. Now imagine one of the rarest known examples of the 2002 Two Pence, perfectly struck, preserved in immaculate condition, graded at the highest possible level, and authenticated as one of the scarce misprint or special batch coins. When such a specimen appears at auction, collectors know it's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning a piece of living history. Bidding wars erupt, hands rise, and prices climb beyond imagination. The excitement in the room becomes electric, as the story of a small copper coin turns into a legend worth millions. When one of these ultra-rare Elizabeth II Two Pence coins from 2002 was presented at a major European auction, experts and enthusiasts held their breath. The coin gleamed under the lights, its surface untouched by time, its features crisp and detailed. Every curve of the Queen's profile, every feather of the Prince of Wales' badge, was perfectly rendered. The bidding began modestly, but within minutes the price soared. Collectors recognized the historical significance, the extraordinary condition, and the unmatched rarity of the piece. As the hammer finally fell, the audience erupted. The coin had just sold for a jaw-dropping $28 million. That moment marked not just a record, but a realization. The true value of a coin lies in its story, its scarcity, and the emotion it evokes in those who understand its journey. From a small mint in South Wales to a world-class auction stage, the 2002 Elizabeth II Two Pence had traveled through time as more than money. It had become art, history, and heritage combined in one brilliant piece. Top 3. This was the United Kingdom Elizabeth II Two Pence coin of 2006, a coin that would one day capture the attention of collectors around the world for reasons that defy its modest face value. The story begins decades earlier, when the decimalization of the British currency system reshaped the very foundation of coinage in the United Kingdom. Back in 1971, Britain transitioned from the old pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal system, introducing a new family of coins that would soon become part of daily life. Among them was the 2 pence coin, created to represent 2/100ths of a pound. Initially made from bronze, it bore the proud inscription, "New Pence," a phrase that marked the dawn of a new era in British coinage. But as time passed and the currency matured, the "new" was eventually dropped, leaving the simple and timeless 2 pence. Fast forward to 2006, a time of both tradition and quiet evolution. Queen Elizabeth II, having reigned for over 5 decades, was already a symbol of continuity and grace. Her portrait had graced British coins in multiple effigies over the years, each capturing a different era of her life and reign. By 2006, the Royal Mint was using the 4th official portrait of Her Majesty, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Unlike its predecessors, this design portrayed the Queen with a more mature realism, an honest representation that resonated with her subjects. The familiar diadem rested elegantly upon her head, and the inscription around the portrait read, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, followed by the year 2006. These initials stand for the Latin phrase De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor. By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side of the coin, the 2 pence design remained steadfast. It featured the famous badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, accompanied by a ribbon bearing the motto Ich Dien, meaning, I serve. This design, by Christopher Ironside, had become iconic since its first appearance in 1971. Simple, heraldic, and deeply symbolic, it represented loyalty, service, and royal heritage. By 2006, the design had already become a beloved classic, symbolizing decades of British identity. But what makes the 2006 Elizabeth II 2 pence so captivating to collectors isn't merely its design, it's the subtle nuances, variations, and production details that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. The coin, like others from the 2000s, was struck in copper-plated steel rather than the traditional bronze used in earlier decades. This change, introduced in 1992, was primarily for cost efficiency, as copper prices had risen significantly. However, these changes also created variations in color, tone, and magnetic properties, making certain batches unique. For a numismatist, such small differences could mean the difference between a coin worth pennies and one worth a fortune. The 2006 minting also coincided with a transitional phase in coin production, when the Royal Mint was modernizing its technology to prepare for future redesigns of the British coinage system. Though the official redesign didn't come until 2008, some experimental strikes and trial patterns were rumored to have been made during this period. Stories began circulating within collector circles of era coins, 2 pence pieces that bore misaligned designs, double strikes, or even anomalies in metal composition. A few rare examples were said to display subtle differences in the feather detailing or text alignment, minute features invisible to the casual observer but unmistakable to the trained eye. Imagine, for a moment, a coin minted under the careful supervision of the Royal Mint's precision machines, yet one that carries within it an imperfection, a tiny deviation that transforms it into something utterly unique. That's the allure of the 2006 2 pence. While millions were struck for everyday circulation, only a handful emerged with the kinds of errors and features that later drew collectors into fierce bidding wars. A few specimens even escaped the mint in pristine condition, preserved by chance in coin rolls or forgotten drawers, untouched by circulation and time. Collectors today know that condition is everything. A 2 pence from 2006 that has survived in uncirculated, or proof, condition, its copper sheen unblemished, its edges sharp, and its surfaces gleaming, is a rare find indeed. The Royal Mint also produced limited sets for collectors that year, some containing coins struck with mirror-like precision on polished dies. These sets were not meant for public circulation, but over the years, pieces from such sets have occasionally surfaced at auctions, drawing astonishing attention. Beyond its physical attributes, the 2006 2 pence carries immense emotional and historical weight. By this time, Queen Elizabeth II had surpassed most of her predecessors in longevity and stability. Her image on the coin had come to represent more than just currency. It symbolized endurance, grace, and unity. Each coin from that year tells a story of a nation under her steady reign, a nation rooted in tradition but moving quietly toward change. Over the years, as coin collectors around the globe turned their attention to modern-era British coins, the 2 pence series gained unexpected fame. While earlier issues like the 1971 or rare 1983 New Pence era coins were already famous, the 2006 2 pence began to stand out for its scarcity in perfect condition. Many had been lost to circulation, their surfaces dulled by years of handling. But the few that remained pristine, particularly those with verified minting anomalies, became prized treasures. One fascinating element about this coin is the color tone variations caused by differences in the copper plating process. Some 2006 coins display a deep, almost reddish glow, while others have a lighter, golden hue. This subtle difference, often caused by slight changes in the plating thickness or environmental exposure, can dramatically affect collector interest. Coins stored in sealed mint sets often retain their original brilliance, making them even more desirable. The story of the 2 pence doesn't stop at its physical features, it also reflects the larger narrative of Britain's evolving economy. In 2006, cash transactions were still dominant, though digital payments were beginning to emerge. Coins like the 2 pence continued to represent tangible value, connecting people to a tradition that dated back centuries. But as time moved forward and digital systems expanded, coins like these began to feel like remnants of a fading era. That nostalgic pull, of holding a piece of British history, stamped with the image of one of the world's most enduring monarchs, adds emotional depth to its appeal. Collectors, both amateur and professional, often speak of the thrill of discovery, the rush that comes from finding something others have overlooked. Imagine sifting through a jar of coins and suddenly catching the glint of a 2 pence from 2006 with an unusual sheen or misprint. To the untrained eye, it's nothing more than pocket change. But to the numismatist, it could be a golden ticket, one of those ultra-rare specimens whose worth transcends its face value 1,000,000 times over. In recent years, auction houses in London and beyond have reported record-breaking bids for rare Elizabeth II coins. While older denominations and era variants tend to attract the most attention, certain modern coins, when preserved flawlessly or accompanied by exceptional stories, have achieved astronomical prices. The 2006 2 pence, particularly those few pieces certified by grading authorities as mint-condition rarities, have astonished collectors with their rising market value. This is the magic of numismatics. This is the passion that drives collectors around the world. And this, my friends, is the legacy that lives on through the coins we hold, the stories we tell, and the treasures we discover, only on HD Ultra Rare Coins.